We'll do it again. Big L Tire out of Harrisonburg. We want to say, why is that not going? Is that better? Okay. So we have sound. Big L Tire out of Harrisonburg. They have 5 convenient locations in Virginia to help you out. Check them out on the web at bigltireco.com or 800-289-2445. Thank you, Chris Baker, for letting me know. We also want to thank AED Custom Graphics out of Richmond, Virginia. They hooked us up with hats, hoodies, T-shirts. They have all the stuff they need to make your graphics and your business stand out from the competition, from full vehicle wraps, custom banners, office signage, company logos, goal tracking, the team building, graphics. Possibilities are endless. They also do our bumper stickers that you see on some of these competition vehicles. And thank you for joining that family. I really do appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. It helps us get the word out and let people know who we are. I met someone this weekend at the Pine Tops who had no idea that we had made a video about him, and that we, while he was being interviewed at the state fair, we recorded it and put it in the footage. They had no idea. So if you see something, tag someone in it, and don't assume that they've seen it, or ask them if they've seen it, because a lot of times pullers just don't know. They don't remember every video person across the land or who was there at a given moment. So if you see someone, fire them a message and say, hey, I just saw this. This was amazing that you're in it. So thank you for adorning those bumper stickers and joining the Will Whitt Productions WWPTV family. So they do our bumper stickers, AED, out of Richmond. We also want to thank Cook Auto Group out of Colonial Heights, Virginia. They've come on to help us. These guys pull a mod 4x4 trucks back in the day, and they're coming out with a new one. Can't wait for that one. We love trucks around here, and that's just going to add to the flavor. And they're also working on a 2.6 diesel 4x4, so I'm excited about that as well. They also sponsor this year for Dragon Motorsports for the modified 4x4 class. So good to them. And you'll see their logos show right here. So if you want your logo there, just give us a call. We'll work something out. We kind of go on a week-to-week basis with those guys, and they help us out. So we put their logos there, and we give them a spiel. And if you want your same company here with us, let us know. Cook Auto Group is your source in Central Virginia for auto sales, collision, towing, and repair. 804-451-0290. Will Whitt Productions WWPTV. Willie T TV is now over 2160. Oh my gosh, it's growing. So there's a lot of good stuff out there from the Miller's Tavern. And hopefully we've got a lot of the promotion done this week, so that should free us up maybe a little bit tonight, a little bit tomorrow. Obviously, one of the polls that we were going to was canceled, so we have nothing to do. So we're going to try to knock out a whole bunch of videos and get everything promoted up for June. So we'll have some free time to knock out some more videos and stuff like that. I could even go back to 2016, 2015. There's some semis there. There's some modifieds there. There's a whole lot of footage I can't get to. I'd love to. I can't. Everything kind of has to move. And I do want to go back starting, closest to furthest back. A lot of good stuff. A lot of great stuff. So we need help. And we've had someone that wants to step up and edit some video. And that means I'll just throw them a hard drive and maybe a copy of Adobe and say, hey, just do your best. And when you're done, let me know. And then we'll put it on YouTube so you can see. And then we'll announce it on either Twitter, which I think we're Will Whitt Pro on there. WILLWHITTPRO on Twitter, and Twitter posts to Facebook. So if you're on the Will Whitt Productions WWP TV and Let's Grow Polling East Coast Edition page, you should see it because Twitter posts straight to there. That's all I have for the sponsors. However, I did start putting my wife's logo down here. I just shaved using our wonderful Rodan Fields stuff. It keeps my skin great, especially during the long season. The rigors of the sun, it helps me stay young and revitalized. And Melody loves that, and I love that she loves that. So if you have issues, or someone that's got you want to just improve something, we looked at the cost of what she used to spend on cosmetic stuff. It's comparable because she's not having to use as much makeup and stuff, and me, I'm not getting as burned, so that's always good because I don't have to lather up in aloe after the long season and long day filming in the hot sun. So if you want to join the team, it's highly successful It's recession proof. It's proven. It's one of the number one brands in America right now. So check us out. Give me a call or, text Melody. Not text, email. Her email's on here. All right. Our first guest. I am so excited. Now, I'm going to tell you how most of Will Whitt happens here. It usually involves Terry Davis of Davis Motorsports saying, hey, you know what you need to do? You need to come here and film. I'll get you in. Don't worry about it. I'll get you in. I'm like, okay, I'll do what I can. I'll check my schedule. But Terry Davis said, you know what? I really want Lisa Peterson to come on. I'd love to have her on the show. And I said, well, Terry, I'd love to have you on the show. So if you see Terry Davis, I'm calling you out. Peyton, John T, boys, y'all need to be here. Well, not here per se, but you need to have me call you in because people want to know you. Just like everybody's going to find out a little bit more about Lisa tonight. So we have Lisa Peterson, all the way from Wisconsin. So this is going to be really cool. And, like I said, I've just gotten to know her going back. I met her at Benson last year. And then again, this time at Miller's Tavern. And then met her again at Raleigh, talked to her some more. Wonderful, wonderful people. So we're going to give her a call. And then we'll go through some questions and answer with Lisa Peterson. She's a longtime puller with the NTPA out of Wisconsin. They even created a business helping pullers. Profab is the name that has been around pulling for a long time and a name that pullers trust.
Hi, Will.
Hi, Lisa. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm delightful. I feel good. I got in from Little League. I'm here in this moment talking to you in front of all these fans. And we're not going to give you numbers because we don't want to just, kind of like, scare you to death. But it's going to be a good many people. Several thousand people will be watching and sharing and liking. So first off, I wanted to say welcome to the show. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me. And I just wanted to say also that Terry and Peyton and John really expressed to me that they would like to be on your show.
Well, see, I think it would do them a great service to let people know who Davis Motorsports really is and how they got a great story to tell. They've been around basically since the beginning of truck pulling.
Right.
So they've got a very strong stance in the sport, and I want to help everyone to kind of know who you are, who they are, because a lot of people just see vehicles. They don't get the time to walk the pits and cruise the pits and talk to pullers, the way that we do, behind the scenes kind of. Yeah. So that's what I want to put out there. But they're always they're always welcome. So I if you see Terry, people, fans, who know them, let them know they're loved and you want to see them on the show. All right. So let's talk about you guys. Let's talk about Profab. You started pulling the original Profab truck back in 2008? How big?
Yep.
How big were the butterflies before that first hook?
They were hummingbird size. I came right out starting to drive that truck in the middle of the Grand National season. I had 2 prior half runs prior to that, but I jumped right in the seat at Saluda, South Carolina. And it was real nerve-wracking. I get real quiet. I don't like to talk about it. As far as leading up to the pull, I really didn't want anybody to know I was doing it. Mm-hmm. I just wanted to kind of leave it a secret until I got in the truck. Right.
Well, that I can understand that. Now, did you pull any other type of vehicles? Did you just go straight to National Modified 4x4s, or did you do anything else?
I never pulled anything in my life.
Wow. That's the equivalent of, taking out the Chevelle or the Chevette, actually, and then you jumping into a Ferrari,
Right.
But you did pretty good, actually. You got something really good at Bowling Green that year. What was it, like 7th or 6th or 7th?
Oh, I don't even remember. I know I was in the top. I don't know if it was my first year there or my second year there. I ended up with 5th place.
Wow.
So, I mean, to go to Bowling Green, fairly green and pulling and to come out in the top is unbelievable.
Okay, I don't want to surprise you with any random questions, but a tractor guy was saying, do you have any parts? Does Profab have parts for tractors?
You're cutting out, Will.
I had a question from a caller who asked if Profab had any parts for tractors.
For tractor pulling?
Yeah, well, no, not just for truck pulling, but for tractor pulling.
Oh yeah, we do tractor pulling transmissions. We do anywhere from hot farm all the way up to super stock diesel, pro stock, super stock unlimited. We have transmissions in all those. We actually have our transmissions in the sleds that we pull as well.
Oh wow, I did not know that. So,
yep.
And is that with all the Vaughn stuff, or is that for a lot of different sleds?
Vaughn buys from us. I know not most of them, but a lot of the sled builders now are getting their transmissions from us. Bungart. I forgot offhand right now, but Bungart does, and most of them are starting now to get them all from us, and I'm not sure what they did prior to that.
Good stuff. That's actually excellent. It was perfect timing that actually a tractor builder was paying attention. They had no clue, so you just reached a potential customer. I'll connect you to later. Let's talk about the need for Profab. Was there just nothing else around that would work, or what else did you guys try?
Well, Larry originally started it. He grew up on a dairy farm, and he was milking cows, and he started pulling, and he just was not happy with what was out there as far as products for pulling, and he started designing his own product, and that's where Profab kind of came about, which is probably a story to get him on an interview, and he can, share how Profab began and where it's gone to in terms of, like I said, when he originally started to where we're at now.
Right. Yeah, let's see. I wanted to stay on that tangent. Talk about the advantages of running two trucks. Now, you're driving the original Profab truck, right?
Yep.
And when did the geared up come along?
That was in 2008 is when, or was it 2007 or 2008 is when Larry brought the geared up truck out. He had a design for a chassis, and he thought about it for quite a few years, and that particular year he finally had it, started working on it, and he didn't get the truck finished for the first few pulls, but he made it out to Chapel Hill, Tennessee for the first two runs on it, and out of the gate, the truck won both nights. So the following year, under the truck that I have, he built a identical chassis to that that's under my truck now.
So it worked so much, you figured, hey, you know what? We really like this. Let's move yours over.
Yep.
Now, okay, so does it feel weird not having both trucks run at an event? Like you're almost forgetting someone?
It's not weird feeling, and we've done it a few times, like at Miller's Tavern where Larry had some trouble and couldn't run. It's not a weird feeling, but it's more calm feeling. The way we run now, it's Larry and I and two trucks, and we rarely have people there to help us. So it's kind of a circus getting them both to the scales, to staging, to the track, and then to figure out how soon the next person has to be up. And you have a hard time watching the track and paying attention to what's going on that way. But as far as not having one or the other trucks, it's actually more calming that way.
Now, I've spoken to a lot of pullers who have teams, and they always tell me, the first one, we usually get it dialed in on that first one. So then when the second or third come along, they know exactly what to do and where to run and everything because they've dialed it in. So I guess what I'm saying is I think there may be advantages to it, but you're saying, hey, there may be some advantage to it, but having the help to make you get those trucks up there is a big advantage too.
Right, and another thing too, the advantage with having one truck pull in front of the other is you can tell the next person what the track conditions are if I was overgeared or undergeared, or vice versa with Larry, as far as how hard or soft the track is, the wetness of it. And we can kind of gear towards that. But as far as anything else, Larry and I have complete different driving styles.
Right.
And I can't tell him how I drove and what he should do because we are so different in our styles of driving.
Yeah, and another thing that I've noticed with your trucks is the wheels aren't that offset. You guys keep them pretty close together between the front and the wheel, the rear wheels. So there's not. I mean, do you feel like you're going over the same dirt twice, or do you feel like you're at least the back set's getting a little bit of new dirt? What do you think about that?
I've talked to Larry about that. The back tires are getting a little, or the front tires are getting a little bit more new dirt, but the way other people have them set up, I don't know if there's an advantage the way we do it or a disadvantage. This is just, we have to make work with what we have.
Yeah, I've seen them where they literally have to take the front tires off and put like a little a donut on them, basically to get them rolled in the trailer because their stance is so wide on the front.
Right.
Yeah, and that causes work too. Every little decision like that adds to your prep, So. Mm-hmm. That's good. Hey, this is kind of off the wall because I hear this a lot, especially from my family. What does your non-polling family and friends think about this sport?
There's some people that love it, and there's a lot of people that want nothing to do with it. There's certain people we talk to polling, we will bring it up in conversation, and they'll roll their eyes, and they think of like your local antique farm pull. They don't understand exactly how big we deal with on a pulling level. And there's a lot of people that don't even want to learn, don't even want to look further than what they have their mindset on. Right.
I just did an article, and I don't know if it's going to get submitted to the poller, but I asked a fan at the Miller's Tavern poll that you were at, and I said to him, what was your first impression when you came to a tractor pull or when someone invited you to a tractor pull? And they said, no, that's a little too rednecky for me. I don't think so. Okay. They backed down. They went to the poll and they said, I will never miss one locally again. And I think there's a misconception that it's just a bunch of rednecks hanging around, and then you go there and you meet these people and like, okay, they pray together, they eat together. They're some of the nicest people in the world, and I'm like, how could you not? But if you don't know, if you're not part of that environment or you didn't grow up or know someone in that environment, it's very hard to embrace it. Are you still there?
Yep, now I am.
Okay. In terms now you did hit on this in terms of sponsorship for the sport. You guys do it at a high level. Talk about what it means to be a part of something so big, to see your ads in the poller, to see them on TV screens and on vehicles and things like that.
It's rewarding for us when we can sponsor polls and sponsor events, and we do the contingency program and other programs. It's rewarding for us to help our fellow pullers and watch them grow. It's nice to be able to give a little bit back to the pullers that work so hard to do what we're doing. And it takes a lot of money and determination to stick with it. And, any sponsorship that anybody can get is just a little more a little more spark to make people want to continue on, because it is a very expensive sport.
Yeah, you have to want it. I love the meme that says tractor pulling and truck pulling. It makes millionaires out of billionaires. You're not going to get rich at it. And
Not at all.
There are teams that do a really good job. Whether it be promoting social media, running multiple vehicles, like I was talking earlier, where they can come down to a pull and they can walk away and have a nice weekend. Okay, everybody's eating steak for the next week or so, and that's cool. Pulling is well set up for teams if you think about it that way, because you're splitting the gas cost, the travel cost, the time cost over multiple vehicles, and you take home multiple purses. So I understand that too. So it is kind of rewarding to see your name on something. I think we have our name on, like I said, many vehicles on the small scale, but we also have it on a few vehicles on a larger scale. And anytime that person makes a great hook, you feel, wow, that's awesome. I'm bought in with this puller. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I completely get that, and I absolutely love the fact that you guys give back so much. Every time I flip through the puller and I see your name or a Profab, I'm thinking, wow, this is really cool. I want to be like that one day. Okay, so I met you at Benson last year. You come back to Miller's Tavern, and I get to see you again. Okay. You get a win at Miller's Tavern right out of the gate on the season, and then you finish second at Pine Tops. You're all set up to have a good 2017. What do you think?
Well, first of all, we came out to Miller's Tavern and Pine Tops because I struggled last year. I had a horrible time, and we needed to get out there before our point started, get some seat time, try a few different things. And coming out there and winning was actually not even on my mind. I was just out there. We need to figure something out. So, that was fantastic. I was very excited for my first and second. 2016, I fought. I was driving bad. I had bad habits. We had tire issues. My truck wasn't just plain hooking up. It was a long season, mostly lows. And when you're out with this group of people that we run with, you need to bring your A game. You have to be on your A game, and you have to bring it every week because there's no slouches out there. And if you don't have it, you're going to be lost. And we came out thinking we need to get our program set up to get this 2017 rolling. So this year I'm looking to overcome everything I fought last year, and I'm coming into the season with a more positive outlook, and hopefully be at the top more often. I was tired of being at the bottom all the time.
Yeah, right. If you're middle to top of the pack, you can think, hey, you know what? It's okay because I got something to shoot for. But when you're down at the bottom, that's no fun. No one wants to be there.
No.
And part of that goes back to, well, are you running good parts? What are you running? Are you running a Hemi? You running the new stuff? You running you can always tweak something, and sometimes your budget might not allow that, and you kind of just have to go along until you can raise some funds or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so 2017 is already looking pretty good for you. Now, hypothetically, say you build one more truck. I'm not saying you guys are. What would you do as far as a body style? There's a lot of crazy new body styles out there. Would you do something new? Would you do something old school? Or would you do something kind of similar to what you already have?
I think I would leave it the same. We've talked before about changing things up, and I think if we were to build another one, I'm talking for myself. I don't know what Larry would say, but I would want to keep it the way it is. I would want to keep the looks the same.
Right.
We're pretty well known for our chameleon paint, so
yeah.
And I would like to keep the body style the same.
You led right into the next question. Those paint colors are just amazing, and shots of them, either on the track or just sitting still, they look like they're going 30 miles an hour. They're absolutely beautiful. Talk about what it means to have something that's not just functional but also beautiful and competing at a high level.
You're gone again.
Oh, I'm sorry. I said, the chameleon, the paint job on that, it's amazing. Talk about what it means to have something that's one, functional and competitive, and it looks amazing.
It makes you feel good when you've got a truck that runs well and with that paint job that stands out. And we get so many people that come up. I love your paint. I love your paint. I love your truck. And it's just like, we're so known for the paint. And it's just a really good feeling to go out there and have people come up and comment and, like you.
Yeah. Well, it's good to be known and liked for something, but especially when it's positive.
Mm-hmm.
And that paint job is absolutely it's amazing. Lisa, where's your favorite place to pull?
Chapel Hill, Tennessee, hands down.
And we talked about this this past weekend. They give away something kind of unique there. What do they give away?
If you win your class, you get a blue director's chair that's stitched Chapel Hill Lions Club and the winner and the year that you pulled. And that's like a prestigious event, and everybody is out. They're hungry for that chair.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Larry has a basement full of them.
Oh, good grief.
Yeah.
Well,
He's got 7. He has 7 or 8 of them.
Wow.
I have 1.
Well, here's to some more chairs. I've heard that comment watching polling numerous times, and I had no clue because they didn't show the chair. They just talked about it. Yeah, I get a chair, and it could have been even Larry that I watched on an interview one time that said that. And as a fan, you don't really understand what's going on and what the significance is, like making an Enderley or making winning a director's chair from Chapel Hill. So that's actually pretty cool. Thanks for sharing with us. This is kind of I ask this of just about every person who comes on the show, and we get everything from my tractor falling off of a dump truck, or losing a wheel, or this or that. What was your funniest story that you've ever been involved in polling?
I could write a book on that. I have so many. The first time I ever pulled the truck, and this was before it was the pull before the actual points pull one, was in Watertown, Wisconsin. We were on Jimmy Lubke's sled. He had an all-star pull, and it was the first time I ever drove. And I came out of the trailer with Larry's fire suit, shoes, helmet, gloves that didn't fit, everything. And I got in the truck and I pulled. When I got done pulling, the truck killed in the track, and Larry came over, opened the door, and I told him to get the seatbelt undone, and I jumped out and took off. And he's like, "You gotta take the truck off the track. You just can't leave it there."
Oh.
So I would say that was probably one of them, where I just left the truck in the middle of the track and took off.
That's pretty funny. We've had some younger pullers come onto the scene, and they didn't know how to back up a truck. They didn't know how to drive off. So what would happen is Dad would come, hook it all up, and get it all set, and then a kid would jump in there. And our requirement is you kind of got to be 16 or have a valid driver's license, or you have to have a waiver or something like that. So, we've seen some things like that. And was it Miller's Tavern? I think it was 2015. A boy named Logan Hartman, he won at Miller's Tavern, and he got out of the truck and walked around, and at this time, he was about half the size of John Nickel. Okay. And you've seen John, okay, obviously. And so here's this 12-year-old kid who comes out on the track, and oh my gosh, the crowd just went nuts. And but like I said, it's something he talked his dad into doing. He really wanted to do it, and they signed all the paperwork and stuff like that. But that's funny. I was thinking about that
right.
when you were talking about wearing Larry's suit. Anybody that you want to give a mention out out to? A shout out, crewmate, family member, whoever.
I'd like to thank my brother Ryan. He takes care of things for us when we're away. And he's also always busting his butt changing tires for us. We're always making decisions, and he's always putting them on the rim, taking them off the rim, putting them on, and he just gets disgusted. But he does it, so I need to thank him for that. Sonny Leonard for the power that we have for getting down the track. He's got some of the best stuff out there.
Right.
I also need to give a shout out to Nichols Tires and Brett Berg and Chris Martin for taking care of our tire program for us. For Von Bauer and all the other sled operators that travel miles so we can put on a show for the fans. They sit and bounce around in them sleds all day long. They need to get a little recognition. And all the people behind the scenes making the pull happen, making it safe for everybody, the tech officials to the track officials to the promoters, just, everybody that makes the pull run smooth. They all need to be mentioned.
Yeah, no, you're right. Without those people, you couldn't have the people coming and buying the $6 hamburgers and buying the programs. And you can't have the fans if you don't have the staff to get it ready to go, to get the track dialed in. And, yeah, I get it. There's the list is a mile long. Those are some good shout outs. Hey, Lisa, well, that wasn't so bad, was it?
No, it wasn't.
See, so
I made it.
I'm gonna call Terry later tonight, and we're gonna talk about how much fun we had and how painless it was. So
Right.
I told
tell him too.
exactly. I told you I'm gonna throw a photo in the mail, and I will do that. I will honor my word, and I'll pick it out, or you can pick it out. Just let me know, and then I'll take care of that.
All right.
Well, Lisa, thanks for coming on to the show, and good luck for the rest of your 2017 season.
Hope I lost you again.
Oh, sorry. I just said thank you for coming on to the show, and good luck on your 2017 season.
Thank you very much, and thanks for having me.
All right. Thank you.
All right. See you in Benson.
Yep. All right. You heard her say it. Benson. It's coming up. And could be there Friday night. Well, I got to talk to some people. It's a week and a half away. So that weekend we're looking at Friday night, and then I got a thing to do in Lynchburg, Virginia that morning, and then I'm thinking Victoria. I've never been to Victoria. I go to Berryville 3 to 5 times a year, or 3 to 4 times a year, depending on how many they're there. So the promoter really wants me to come to Victoria. I'm excited. I've never been there before. And it's close to where I'm going to be. So probably more likely Benson on Friday night, Lynchburg, back for doing family stuff, and then probably to Victoria. All right. Our next guest, let's see if we don't have any more audio issues. I don't know if that was just a Wisconsin thing or what. Brad Broy is a puller and a promoter. He's been running the Mod Street 4x4 class with Interstate Truck and Tractor Pullers and now Dragon Motorsports. So we're going to get Brad. Hey, Brad Broy. What do you say?
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, Lisa had little issues with me, and I don't know if it was just her shop phone or my cell phone. So I'm just going to pray and not do anything. I'm not going to move. And we're going to see if we can get through this interview. I was kind of telling people who you were and that you pulled, you're pulling the Mod Street 4x4 class. So welcome to the show, Brad.
Yes, thank you for having me.
All right, cash only. That's one of the best names I've ever heard for a truck. How'd you come up with it?
Well, back years ago, I pulled Interstate 2, and I was getting protested, and I walked up there, and they was writing a check out, and the promoter was telling them, sorry, but you got to have cash to protest somebody. Right after then, I thought that was a perfect name to come up with for the truck was cash only.
Cash only. I love it. I think it's great. And look, I know we had a joke about the whole banquet last year, about the whole for sale sign. How'd that thing get started? How'd the for sale thing get started?
We was up in Winchester, the 2-day pull Winchester Fair, and after the second night of pulling, we were sitting back there with John Temple with the camper, and one of the street diesel guys needed help in the truck on the trailer, so I went over to take the loader over and help him. Come back, and all acted a little simple, but I didn't really pay no attention. The next day was Fredericksburg, and I get to Fredericksburg, and sure enough, there was a for sale sign on my back window.
They didn't put a phone number on it, did they?
No phone number, just little saying on the bottom of it, and that was about the extent of it.
Oh my gosh. You know what? You got somebody back for that too, though. That's funny. It's just, I know it wasn't funny at the time, but I don't think everybody knew the whole story about that. All right, Brad, what's your favorite track to pull on?
I would say Berryville, just because it's hometown. A lot of my family and friends can come out there because we're close to home. I would say probably Berryville.
Yeah. Now I've talked to pullers before, and they say no, not my hometown track because it's so stressful. You don't find it stressful at all?
Yes, I do. I've won there, but it's been a long time ago. Since I've been at Dragon Motorsports, I have never won there. It just seems like you can go other places and be very successful. When you get close to home, you're really not. But I just like it because it's there, and everybody can come a couple miles from home and see you.
Well, you have another Berryville native, and we'll talk about more of those in a minute. But Ricky Taverner can come down there, and it seems like that joker wins every other time he hooks on the Berryville track.
That's exactly right. Yep, he lives about as close to the Fairgrounds as I do.
Well, you need to tell him he needs to start working the track with you so you can split some of those wins up. Maybe give one him, one you, one him, one you. You know what I mean?
There you go. Yeah.
Now I see. Okay. I'm gonna go back. I was gonna jump forward a little bit. Hey, when you're building a track, what do you want? Do you want a power track for trucks, a good hooking track for track for tractors, or do you want something in between? What are you shooting for?
Well, I like to have a good power track. The biggest thing I shoot for is a smooth track. I don't like to see anybody break their truck or tractor up, bounce. My biggest thing is to make it good. And, me personally, a good power track, but a smooth track. I don't like to see that bouncing and breakage.
Yeah, no breakage.
No fun for nobody. Exactly.
And look, I've seen Berryville get a crown on it sometimes. How does a crown happen? How you see it progress overnight, but what's going on there in a track for the fans that don't know, and who can really control that?
Really, it's that clay dirt. That clay dirt, it'll happen quicker in clay dirt than anything. It'll just, be when you're disking it up, when you are rolling it back in, just who's ever on the scraper at that time, rolling it and dragging it, keeping it level. When the crown starts, you kind of just watch it, and it definitely has an advantage to it if you hit it at the right time,
I told pullers before, I said, if you ever go to Temple, just look at it, and about 3:30, that joker falls off. And we some semis come in there with 3:30 with momentum, and they just have to shut it down because they're going to roll and roll and roll. So yeah, there's always going to be a natural crown, and that kind of helps Temple. And I think it helped him this last time at his NTPA event because just the way it rolls off. He's got the crown at the end, and he's got the nice sandy soil, but it's still got some of the pullers were talking about that, and they said this is just a really different soil than we've ever pulled on before, so they had to kind of get used to it.
Very much so.
All right, now I see a lot of these Broy and Son tracks every time I drive through Berryville. Where did all this green and gold thing come from? I mean, because it's on everything.
Well, my dad started in business 25 years ago and started with a green truck, and he was very, very successful. Now we got probably 35 of them, and they're still all green. He lettered them green and gold, and that's kind of the logo that we stuck with the whole way.
How many trucks? You said 35.
35, yeah. Between dump trucks and, everything.
Good grief.
That we got.
And you like the green and the yellow tractors too, right?
Yes, very much so.
Yeah. If you're around Brad Broy long enough, you know that's the case. Hey, everybody seems to say that Winchester the birthplace of truck pulling, and I believe that it is. I know that they were pulling in North Carolina very close to the time that it first started up in Winchester. But there are a good many trucks where you come from in Berryville. Talk about truck pulling history in your town.
Well, they say it started, yes, in Winchester, and there at the Clarke Fairgrounds, they said in the 60s it started with just like a sheet of metal, and they had guys that stepped on. They had a certain area they stepped on this plate of metal. As the plate went up the track, the more guys got on it, and it just kept progressing, and then they got into a weight transfer, and look where they are today. But yes, there's a lot of pullers just in this area, and between Berryville and Winchester, there's just a lot of pullers in general. And all classes, from tractors to trucks, all the way to your national trucks.
Well, I know we could probably run either between 10 and 20 diesel trucks if we had the right classes there. I mean, they just come out of the woodworks. I know you got the Rosas, you got a whole bunch of you got the Franzes, you got a whole bunch of pullers there. Okay. And then you got the one tractor guy that I know of, Ricky Tavener. You got some other modifieds in that area. Yeah, so it's steeped in history, But like I said, it's one of those things that it's kind of developed its own identity, because Winchester there was originally the original 6 were in Winchester, and now I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those might still be running. So there's some great history there, and I love coming up to Berryville because you do get a lot of that stuff come over from Winchester, and obviously your hometown, Berryville.
Yes, very much so.
So we started running. Go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, I was just saying, yeah, it's like you say, just in this area, just in the 20 or 30 mile radius, there's just a lot of pullers,
Yeah. Well, now let's talk about Mod Street for a second. We started running this class. I think we started running it in 2014. And, a lot of this is, pullers want to say, hey, look, we want some more events. We want them here. We want them there. And so, Dragon Motorsports said, okay, well, we'll start out with a few events, and it's grown and grown and grown. Now we have probably 8 or 9 Mod Street that will show up on any given pull. So talk about in 2017 though, you made the brand switch to Chevy from Ford. Talk about what you feel about the two trucks now that you've won events with both Ford power and Chevy power.
Well, I was for 16 years. I ran a Ford, and like you said, I ran Interstate, and then when Dragon come up with the class, we went to Dragon, and I ran both. And I wanted to switch just to a Chevrolet power plant and a Ford, but with the way the rules are written, that wouldn't quite pass. So I just had to end up and I chased them Chevys as far as I could chase them. I had to get one, and yeah, like you say, I won with both. I won a couple points championships with my Ford at Interstate, and like I said, I had to switch up. Not really trying to be a trader, but one of the things if you can't beat them, you gotta have one,
Well, we talked about that, and Chevy guys would say there's no difference. Okay, Ford guys would say there is a difference. What do you say now that you've owned both?
Yes, there is. Yes, very much so. Very much so. It's the engine builders tell you a lot of the cylinder heads. The response, the throttle response on them is totally different, and it's taken a little bit to get used to.
Right.
And I'm still getting used to it, but yes, it is. It's totally different. And I went from a manual transmission to an automatic transmission.
Really? Okay. I didn't know that's what was going on with that. Hey, look, this is my little story about Chevy. Okay, my mom grew up in a Chevy family. Okay, she had everything. She did have a Mustang, but before that, she had like a GTO. She had a Corvette. She had Chevy Blazers. She had everything. All right, I bought an SVT Contour. One, because I thought it was awesome. I'd read up on it. It was amazing. I went and test drove it. It beat out the Mustang I was looking at. And I was like, you know what? I love this car. So I bought it, took it home. Mom loved it. She said, well, I think I'm going to buy a Ford. Okay. So that joker, she gets me out in that test drive with this Ford dealer. Okay, in Athens, Alabama. Okay, we're going for a ride in this test drive. And this brand, it was new to us, but it was like 1993. It's about 5 years old. Ford Ranger. She gets out on the highway. I don't know what she saw, but she stopped, and I went into the windshield. The dealer went into the back seat behind me, and I'm like, Mom, it's different brakes. You don't have to push them as hard. And she just, brand switches can be different because the tension on the throttle and the tensions on the brakes are going to be completely different from truck to truck. So you're right. There is a learning curve there, and it seems like you picked it up pretty fast in the Chevy.
Yes, I did. I had a good run Saturday night down in Monterey. Yes, I had a good track, a very good track, and I did pick it up. It made a good run. Like I say, good track was underneath the truck, and everything worked out. I hope we can do it again soon.
I heard it rained again in Monterey.
Yes, it did.
Did it get cold?
Supposed to start. Yeah, not as cold as it did last year when you was there with us. But it rained, and at 5 o'clock it was still raining, and at 6 o'clock they plowed all the mud off. We go to pull them.
Hey, I look like that dog from the SPCA commercial where it's shivering out in the cold, looking for a nice warm home. I mean, I was, I didn't know any better. I was thinking, I'll suffer through it. And I got back, my gear was all messed up and soaked and stuff, and I was just cold. It was miserable, but we got through it, didn't we?
It was. Well, I did learn something when I was down there. Like I say, when you was down there, I did learn something. I had a whole truckload of coats and sweatshirts and everything this time when I went.
You gotta watch out. Those mountains they don't sleep. They don't fool around.
No, it's real in there. That's for sure. It's definitely a different area.
That's right, and it can change at any time. Hey, what aside from the for sale sign, what's the funniest story you've ever been involved in?
Well, probably one night I was going to an interstate pull, and I blew out a couple tires on my trailer. Back then I had a gooseneck trailer, and I blew out a couple tires. And I was 2 or 3 miles from the place, and I was like, screw it, I'm going to pull, and I'll fix the tires in. So I showed up there to pull, and there was smoke and everything coming off the trailer tires, and I run them down the road. And I got more claps and people clapping and laughing about that than I have when I won,
Oh my gosh, that's funny. Yeah, I don't know why, but I just think it's kind of cool to share with some of the folly. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Hey, so let's talk about anybody you want to give a shout out to. Who's on your crew? Who helps you out? And now's your time to give back to them.
Well, just everybody that's helped through the 4 days and the Chevy days and supported me on the polls to watch me, just everybody that's been there for me on the way through all this.
You said it. I mean, anytime you make a switch, you might lose a fan or two, okay? But look, it's all at the end of the night. It's all about making power, laying down good runs, and going home number one. And like I said, you've done it. You've held the banner high for a long time with that oval, and now hopefully you'll do that Chevy proud. Hey, Brad, thanks for coming on to the show. You know what? Hey, I'm not ready to let you go yet. Talk about your event. You got an event coming up, but what else have you got going on with the Rurtons?
Well, our fair, that's our big event of the year. We have a fair in August that'll go on for 7 days, and we have 2 nights of truck and tractor pulling there, and demo derbies and a concert and everything. And then, like I say, next Saturday on June 3rd, 7 o'clock, we're going to have another pull there. Hopefully, we had in April, we had a good pull and a nice turnout. So we're hoping for another good night of pulling here next week. And like you say, throughout the year, they do a lot of little things at the place. I mainly with the truck and tractor pulls and anything that really takes place on the track.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And you said it. June 3rd is coming up. You got light pro stocks. You got the mod streets, of course. You've got some diesels, and you got the pro stock 4x4s in there this time. The big class.
Yeah.
That's always a heavy hitter. Big views on YouTube, no doubt about that. But I will tell you, the mod street has been known to get a lot of views. So, I mean, you can hold your banner high that you're actually in a good class that has good visibility, that people share it and like it. And I know that you share your events on Facebook, and that really helps. Talk about, maybe a little bit of Facebook and promotion and how that has helped get you a record crowd. You just had a record crowd in April, didn't you?
Yes, very much so. And like you say, after talking to you about the commercial and everything we did on Facebook and crowd, weather, and like I say, everything that we did, and ain't been real expensive advertising, but it's definitely paid off in the long run.
Well, yeah, that's just it. That video, by the way, got over 200 shares. It was watched like, I don't know, 13, 14, 15,000 times. It was one of the most successful videos that we've ever put forth. And a lot of it has to do with you, the promoter, inviting off of that. You know what I mean? The video's good. And anyone can go back and watch it and see, but the video is good. But you shared a lot. I shared it to the pollers and the fans that I know. So if someone says, hey, you know what, of my friends, I went to this Berryville poll, I re-invite them to the next Berryville poll, or, whatever, Winchester, or like, no, we didn't do Fredericksburg, but, for the Miller's Tavern event, well, guess what happens? The next Miller's Tavern event, I re-invite all those people that said they went to that event again. So social media is really neat, the way you can, give somebody a teaser or give somebody some photos and say, hey, this is the action you're actually going to see come to the track.
Yes.
And I think it's great. We know how to leverage it. And if I can keep on growing you, I can grow anybody. You know what I mean?
That's very much so. Like you say, everything the ideas that you kicked to me turned around the golden ideas. And like I say, that social media, it is just been astronomical, and good crowd, everybody. We had a good turnout, like I say, and then when you had it there and we shared it and got to invite people, it just was a big turnout all around.
Yeah. Now, we like doing those signs. The signs are great for people who don't have social media, and we know that. Okay, but you put those signs in the windows for people who don't have social media and want nothing to do with it. But then for the kids and the young adults that are down with Facebook and all their friends are connected, Facebook offers a great platform for sharing and creating events. It's really easy. It doesn't cost you anything. Some of the services I offer cost a little bit, but it pales in comparison to the traditional marketing. So I'm glad it's working out for you, Brad. I really am, and hopefully we can keep on growing your event. We don't want to throw salt on anybody else's eyes. We want all the events to get better, but you have embraced technology, and we like the fact that you use us. I thank you. I wish you the best of luck on this coming 2017 points chase, as well as all your Berryville events.
Okay, and thank you for everything you do for us up here.
Well, there you go. Hey, thanks, Brad Broy, for coming on to the show.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, that's Brad Broy. Now, I tell you, anytime you change something, you're going to have some skeptics that say, hey, look, what in the world? You fell over and hit your head. Yeah, sometimes, it happens. Some things work, some things don't work. And Brad's a testament to it. He said, hey, look, I tried something, it wasn't working. And sometimes it would work, but on certain things it wouldn't. So he tried it up. I do that with some of the things that I do. When I'm filming or this or that, I'm always tinkering, saying, it's not dialed in yet. It's not dialed in yet. So I'm always working. Hey, I got a few things I want to talk about. So we have Berryville in the northern part of the state on June the 3rd. Okay. In the southern part of the state, we have Victoria that night. That's a 5 o'clock pull, and then Berryville is a 7 o'clock pull. I don't think you can make from one to the other unless you have a G6 or something like that, or G7. But that one at Victoria is going to end around 11 o'clock. I know they have a curfew. I think Berryville does too. But Berryville's an action-packed show. If you're in the northern part of the state, check them out. If you're in the southern part of the state, check out Victoria. It's really a cool atmosphere. I'm excited about going down there. Like I said, Benson's that Friday night, so that shouldn't affect anything. So that's what's going on. And then some other polls that we have coming on is we have Culpeper coming up in June. And then we also have Orange. So let's pull this up real quick. All right, so we have, that's right, Culpeper is on the 10th. Lynchburg is a Simpico All-Star event. That's also in the 10th. So here you go. Lynchburg, you have the 62 Nationals Hot Farm Pro Stock Diesels, 7,800 Light Pro Stocks, 4,800 Economy Modifieds, and the Monster Trucks, as well as Street Diesels. In Culpeper, you have a star-studded cast as well, the 6,400 Pro Stock 4-wheel drives, and the 10 Super Pro Farms, the 62 Mod Street Brad's class, and Alter Farm, as well as Outlaw. That's That's a local favorite. Outlaw four-wheel drives. Then on the 17th, you have Orange, Virginia. You have the Pro Stock four-wheel drives there. Altered Farm there. You also have the Modified Streets, that class, Brad's. The Super Pro Farm, diesels, street diesels. 11,000 hot farm tractors, and this is a favorite, the 15,000 farm. You don't get that much. We only get that about 4 times a year. Okay, so take advantage of that one. That's June 17th at Orange, and that one's at 7 p.m. Then we have the big Simpico All-Star event. That's the Harrisonburg one on June the 24th. Starts at 6 p.m. It's got a lot of stuff. 2 tracks, 2 sleds, Altered Farm, Pro Stock is going to keep on going. Light Pro Stock, Mod Street, Hot Farm, Pro Stock Diesel, Super Pro Farm, Run What You Brung Street Diesels, Outlaws versus Mountain Boys, 4x4s, and then you have the 48,500 Economy Modifieds, the small blocks, the DMP boys versus the mountain boys. That should be fun. The boys from the mountains are coming down, and our boys are coming up from the from the south. So that should be a good show, as well as local farm classes in the 5,000, 7,000, 9,000, 11,000, 13,000, and 15,000 range. Wow. That's a lot of classes. It's one of the biggest shows in Virginia, one of the most classes polling in the state of Virginia. So that's the Red Power Show at Harrisonburg, the Rockingham Summer Nationals, June 24th at 6 p.m. Let's see, what else we got going on? July the 1st, we have Buchanan, Virginia. I've looked at that. I kind of know where it's at. That one's at 6 p.m. They have Super Pro Farm, Pro Stock 4-wheel drives, 7,800 light Pro Stocks, street diesel pickup trucks, Hot Farm, and then local farm classes as well. And then you have the big show on July the 8th, Madison, Virginia. Super Pro Farm, Pro Stock 4-wheel drives, Hot Farm, Mod Street, Light Pro Stocks, Altered Farm, Pro Stock Diesels, and Economy Modifieds. This one's behind Madison High School. And I have a lot of pullers that like this event because it's a unique setting. It's at the high school. Hopefully the lighting is on point this year. But I invited some friends last year from the city, from DC, and they had a blast. They loved it. They were doing some wine tasting earlier in the afternoon. Then they came to the poll. They enjoyed it. And they said it was one of the best evenings they'd ever been out. And they loved the action. So check that one out. That's a Simpico All-Star event as well. And there you go. So that's all I had to say. Don't forget, there's a lot of good shows coming up. So stay tuned to WWP Let's Grow Polling East Coast Edition, the page, and check out the events. I'll create events if the promoter has not created an event. So if you see an invite, that's not just to, be annoying. I'm really trying to remind you of what's going on, and you can go from there. All right. So, hey, thanks for watching the show. Thanks for tuning in. I want to thank Lisa Peterson, and I also want to thank Brad Broy for coming on. Nominate your friends. Send me a message. You don't have to tag me in it. You can send me a message. If you know someone, or if you've talked to someone, hey, you should be on there, and they say, yeah, maybe. Yeah, give me their number. I'll call them and do the dirty work and arrange something, okay? But we're looking for guests. We're always looking for guests. And if you know someone that you want to hear from, let me know. Drop us a line, okay? All right, Will Whitt, Wednesday night. Y'all have a good weekend. No Craigsville this weekend. It was canceled due to the saturated ground there. So I don't think we have anything going on. We're going to do some videos. Like I said, we're going to go back in time and release some stuff. We got a lot of stuff to do, okay? So thanks. Y'all have a good night.